The high wind was producing a lot of scrappy play, and Chesterfield's first real chance ended up a few inches too high. Even when Chesterfield's Alan Birch got a shot on target, it was ruled out for offside. With all the action at one end, it wasn't surprising that a few dozen United fans had invaded the Chesterfield end. They were quietly led away at half-time and thus missed Sheffield United's opening goal, which came as a complete surprise to everyone. The Chesterfield goalkeeper, John Turner, had been more surprised than most, letting Bob Hatton's weak shot through his hands. The game struggled on through the second half, the ball spending much of the time at the mercy of the wind. Chesterfield then began to look for the equaliser, this free kick eventually bringing one of the game's better saves from Derek Richardson. At the other end, Sheffield were making the most of some poor defensive work. With just a minute to go, Chesterfield looked finished. Then Birch made a desperate run for goal and ended up on the ground. John McPhail went on his knees to protest, but his prayers weren't answered. And with almost the last kick of the match, Birch kept Chesterfield in the cup. A draw was probably the best reflection of the game. The two sides will try to get a result at Chesterfield tomorrow night. On a windy night and on a pitch like Christmas pudding, it wasn't surprising that both sides began nervously. After that mistake by the Sheffield keeper, Chesterfield were in trouble following a clever backheel by Paul Garner. Sheffield United got the ball in the net through Steve Neville, who was offside. It was never more than a scrappy game until after half-time. Then, out of the blue, Chesterfield came out and scored. But substitute Gary Simpson's goal had been a touch lucky, his shot coming off a defender. If neither side had produced much action until then, the goal at least forced Sheffield to retaliate. The scrambles that followed were typical cup-tie scenes. And as time went on, Chesterfield sacrificed what little skill they'd shown earlier in favour of a more pragmatic approach. It was all too much for one supporter who made his way out by the direct route and was redirected by the police. But the assault on the Chesterfield goal continued without making any real progress. It was too close for the home side, who proceeded to slow the game down by keeping possession. The referee then decided that John Stirk's ball juggling exercise was ungentlemanly conduct, took his name and awarded a free kick. But like everything else Sheffield tried on the night, it came to nothing. Chesterfield held